bottle of pills you gave me last month make me feel strong. He said, what about them? I said, I can't get the lid off. And I said, and another thing, I said, are you aware, doctor, you've got a suppository stuck behind your ear? You had a bloody suppository stuck behind his ear hole. He says, Christ almighty, what's that bloke done with my fountain pen? You see? I went out of his surgery. I went in the waiting room there. There's a nun sitting in the waiting room with the tears pouring down her face. I rushed back in the surgery. I said, Doc, excuse me. I said, you've got a nun in your waiting room who's just crying her eyes out. He said, yeah, I know. I've just told her she's pregnant. I said, is she? He said, no, but it's cured her hiccups. Anyway, I wouldn't have been the least bit surprised if she had been pregnant. All this, you know... all this permissible society. I mean, look, all this concert parties of people with AIDS. I mean, after the First World War, there was thousands of soldiers coming back with a dose of VD, wasn't there? They didn't have concert parties for them, did they? I'll tell you, VD killed more soldiers than German bullets did in the First World War. They never had no concert parties. It was, get off down to Lock Hospital, you dirty bugger. And when they got there, all they got was the umbrella treatment, wasn't it? Well, I won't go into details. Well, I will if you insist, eh? No, that little thing like umbrella, folded umbrella, and they poke it down inside your John Thomas, and then they'd open it up and they'd pull it out. I'll tell you, with that VD, if you didn't die of it, there's bits and pieces you were falling off all over the place. You couldn't have no safe sex. You couldn't have any sex, could you? Not with the bits and pieces falling off all over the place. See, what they ought to do with these AIDS people, they'll put health warning on their bums. Like on a cigarette packet, you know? Health warning. This is exit, not entrance.
Alf, listen, I've got to tell you...
Somebody barking out there? What?
We're talking about, just changing the subject quickly, like your team, the Hammers, right? And should be called the Hammered, by the way, they've been performing this season, by the way.
That's not funny.
Listen, I live in Canning Town, it's all right, don't worry, settle down. Now, what would you... If you wanted to put West Ham back on the road, how would you get him on there? How would you make him good again?
It's a bloody language problem. It's all them bloody foreigners down there. That's the problem. I mean, look at that. A few weeks ago, we beat the Spurs, right? Easy. Why? Because Harry Redknapp, he only put British players out there. They could understand each other. They could understand the ref. And more importantly, they could understand what I was yelling at them from the touchline. I mean... You think of the bloody state of the game now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, supposed to be so poor up there, isn't they? Eh? I mean, the old bleeding towns, they're all unemployed. How is it that they can afford 3 of the most expensive football teams in the country, eh? I mean, they're all in a bleeding dole, but they're playing twice a week up there. The ground's always packed to the rafters. How are they getting the money for it? I'll tell you, your Liverpool, your Manchester, Newcastle... They are being subsidised out of your DHSS. And now we're back in Europe. We are playing against teams that are being managed by your drug barons. Look, you take your Italy. That's a poor country. That's poorer than bloody Liverpool, that, isn't it? How can they afford to pay bloody millions for players, eh? Because it's your mafia money, it's your crime incorporated money. It's your drug barons' money, innit? Well, that's who we're playing against. Well, we've got plenty of criminals down at West Ham, haven't we? See them all up there in the stand, every home game. Well-known faces in the underworld. Well, why don't they pull a few jobs and buy a few decent players for us?
What? You're going on about drug barons. What do you think about players in football who use drugs?
Well, if it improves their game, give it to them. See, in the old days, down at West End, the team used to get in the Bowling Arms there, in the pub, and they'd be drinking right until 2 or 3 minutes before the kick-off. But they really put them in the right mood for the game, see? And then the ref would pop his head round the corner, and he'd say, "Righto, lads, ready when you are." Old Jim Barrett, centre-half and captain, he'd knock his pipe out, and then he'd place his orders for half-time. Well, they never had no lemons in those days. They never had no kissing in them days, neither. You try kissing a bloke after he'd scored a goal, you've got a smack round the ear, I like to tell you. Look, if a player is well dosed up with cocaine and he gets a flying elbow in the mouth, well, he won't feel it, will he? Speed the game up, won't it? Save all them ambulance men running on every 5 minutes. Because you got a smack in the mouth, didn't you, Gary? You look all right now, though. He looks well, doesn't he? Nice to see you. What? Yes, sir.
Most soccer supporters are peaceful and law-abiding.
Of course they are.
But there's a hardcore among them that cause a lot of trouble wherever they go.
Right.
What would the Garnett remedy be for wiping out this hooliganism?
Very simple, my friend. Brand them. Put a branding on across their foreheads. Brand them for life. Soccer hooligans, raggers, muggers, rapists. Unemployed, unemployable. So when we see them, we know who they are. We can kick them and bash them. Castrate them and still have floggings, public floggings. At half-time, they'll bring the crowds back to football, wouldn't they? Dear old Lord. I shouldn't have done that. Christ. Whew. I don't want to end it all here at bloody LWT, do I? No, it's nice to have a little drink, isn't it? See, the thing about your drink is that acts like an aphrodisiac, doesn't it? Now, have a few of them and woohoo! You give her one, right? But also that acts like a contraceptive, doesn't it? Because you have a few too many, you can't, can you? It's your brewer's droop, isn't it? Because the youngsters, the kids, they tell me that stuff they smoke, what do they call that? The marijuana. Now, they say that makes your sex last longer. I said, but I mean, who wants you to last any longer? It's a bloody waste of time, isn't it? Have a skinful, quick fumble and kick. Trouble is the women, they make demands on you, unnatural demands. Do you know what? The first year I was married to that silly old moo, God rest her soul, hardly a month went by without her wanting carnival knowledge. And if I didn't, I got my food slopped up. Well, sex ain't a thing the working classes used to. Not that kind of sex, not pleasure sex. Can't expect a working man to come home after a hard day's work and entertain his wife with sex. Ain't got time for it. What want to watch telly? I got in a pub.
Ouch. We've seen women world leaders. We've seen a woman running MI5, and some of the best barristers at the bar are women. So you've got to admit, Alf, that women are making a pretty good job of things. In fact, they probably make a better job of things. Yeah.
Do you really talk like that?
Now answer the question.
I'm going to answer the bloody question. Look, it's bloody women's rights, bloody women's... What they ought to have done is left that Mrs. Pankhurst chained to the bloody railings.
You say that, Alf, but what about Maggie?
What about bloody Maggie?
You worshipped her, didn't you?
I never worshipped her! Bloody woman Prime Minister! No, it was the old days. I mean, look, in the old days, see, a woman married a man, she was grateful not to be left on the shelf, wasn't she? She was. So I blame it all on the telly. Listen, Mrs., before that telly come in our house, my silly old moo, God rest her soul, she was ignorant. She was ignorant and better off for it. That's what's upset her. stuck in front of that telly all day, letting them stuff her head full of nonsense. Do you know what she said to me one day? She said, "Half this house is mine," she said. What do you mean, nodding your bloody... Half that? I said, "Well, let me tell you about your half of this house. It's stuck to my half. That's where it's bloody well staying. I mean, I wouldn't have minded. She was no bloody good at housekeeping. I mean, look, I used to give her nearly half of what I earned. She was always on the ear hole for more. Now, look, a man gets married, right? I'll put it simply. A man gets married, he employs a wife, right? You don't get the same conditions of labour as your ordinary employer of industry gets. Ordinary employer, if he employs someone that can't do the job, he can sack them, right? But a man employs a wife. If she don't turn out like you hope, he can't bloody sack her. He can't even dock a time
You're lucky
off.
she didn't sack you, though.
What?
She could have sacked you
It's
out.
not a question of her sacking me. I am the man with a wage packet, isn't I? I mean, they're often want a bloody divorce. If you say a word to them, I mean, just for argument's sake, supposing she'd have got a divorce off him with a silly old moo. Eh? Well, some soppy judge, he might have given her half my house. And say, I've got to support her for the rest of her life, and her not doing Anne's turn for me. You were laughing.
Put up with you.
She didn't. I had to put up with her. It's a case of mutual putting up, isn't it? I mean, you get a sack off or something, they don't say to the governor, you've got to give him half your factory. Support him for the rest of her life. I mean, let her have the dole. Yeah, I don't mind that. Look, you take your big football clubs. Now, we've got a lot of footballers over here. See, you've got a player and he's gone off a bit. He can't do his job for the club. They don't sack him, do they? They put him up for transfer, right? Why? Because they want to get back the money they've invested. Well, it's the same with husband. He spent a lot of money training up that wife of his. He should have the same prerogative, shouldn't he? Look, excuse me, sir, is that your wife with the gold barrage balloon on it? Is it your wife? Yes. How long have you been married?
15 years.
15 years, right.
And he hasn't paid me once.
Look, could you have that out when you get home tonight? 15 years. Well, I don't think that really applies. What about the bloke behind with a Father Christmas hair there? Is that your missus?
Yes, that's right.
How long you been married?
3 years.
3 years. Oh, yeah, well. Right, what about Sir Teddy?
Excuse me, Mr. Garnett, could
Yes.
I just ask you one question?
Certainly.
How do you equate your attitude to women to the fact that we had to stand up to the lady at the beginning of this?
You had to stand up for
We
who?
had to stand up for a lady at the
Well, of
beginning
course.
here.
Imagine the
Well,
Queen.
how do you equate this attitude to women in general?
I stand up for ladies. Of course I do. I stand up
women
for
don't-
ladies. I
aren't
open
same.
car doors for ladies.
Right.
Providing they do as they're bloody well told. So Teddy, is that your missus?
Yes, indeed. We've been married for 26 years.
26 years,
It's been a great
right.
success because, just like you, I'm a perfect gentleman.
There you are. Would you like to comment on that, missus? 26 years. Now, look, just for argument's sake, Sir Teddy, supposing you're not satisfied with her. I mean, it's purely hypotheoretical, you understand? Now, you put her up for transfer, right? See, now, I'll come along. Here I am. Here. Now, I'm in the market for a new one, right? So I'll discuss the pros and the cons of it with you, Sir Teddy. Let me see, 1971 model, is it?
70.
71?
70.
70?
70.
1970 model. One owner? No, well, I mean, you don't know. You've got a few owners. I mean, the bodywork gets bashed about a bit, doesn't it? I mean, 20-odd years, Christ almighty. You know, you start getting leaks and squeaks, don't you? I mean, all that number of years. I mean, the big end could go any minute, couldn't it? So I'd have to give her a medical check first. That's only fair, isn't it? Right? So, of course, I would be at an advantage because I'm unencumbered. I'm a widower, right? So maybe Sir Teddy there would ask me a few quid extra because he reckons she's got something that's worth a bit, you know, like nothing that meets the eye. But She's got extensive wardrobe, has she? Remember this, a woman, Sir Teddy, a woman who is not owned 100% by a man is invariably unhappy and fretful. So, when you pick one out, fellas, be firm. Kind. There's no need to beat them or nothing, you know. You train them up right from the start and you find they are friendly little creatures, aren't they? Nice to have around the house. But remember, Sir Teddy, she may be weary. God, blimey, women don't half get weary. Wearing the same shabby dress. So once she's weary, buy her another shabby dress. No, I'm only joking. Listen, I'll tell you the truth, sir. I got a pal, a regular art and arter. She's my dear good old pal, and I wouldn't be without her. It's many years since first we met. Her hair was then as black as jet. It's whiter now, but she don't fret. Not my old pal. We've been together now for 40 years, and it don't seem a day too much. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old.
What about this national lottery lark? I mean, like it or not, it's been a big success. But what about all these grants? What about all these grants to the do-gooders and the worthy causes? Do you approve of that?
Look, bloody lottery money, why don't they give some of it to us, the old age pensioners, eh? Help pay our television licence fee, eh? I mean, they talk about art and culture. That's our bloody culture, innit? Your neighbours.
You're not short of a bob, Alf. You must have been putting it away, eh? Wicked old
talking
bugger.
about? I'm not sure of a bob. Can't even bloody pay. I have to have a black and white television set. That is our culture, the television. Why don't they get something for... I mean, your neighbours, your Des O'Connor and your Cilla Black, that is out. I mean, they may not be able to sing as loud as Pavarotti, but at least they can sing in English. We can understand what they're bloody talking about. Why don't they give some of that lottery money to help us buy bloody lottery tickets? That's my mates, we can't even afford to buy a bloody ticket. There's millions they do to museums. I mean, they're full of rubbish, they are. You seen them? Full of rubbish in the past. Old bones, old books, old bits of furniture, old paintings. You go in places like bloody Oxfam it is in there. I mean, the government will spend millions on bloody paintings, wouldn't give a penny to us, the old age pensioners. Well, they said, no, it's more valuable. The paintings are more valuable. I said, what, more valuable than us? More valuable than people? Well, it's old masters. Come on. I said, I've seen old master. I see one by that Rembrandt, painting of old person it was. Everyone said, oh, isn't it marvellous? It's a good likeness to an old person. They said, it's so real. I said, well, I am a good likeness to an old person. I'm a better likeness to an old person than that bloody painting is. Somebody comes up and says, oh, Mr. Garnett, you're so marvellous. I'd like to have you hanging on my living room wall. No. Shouldn't have a bloody painting of it. Never mind giving money to new museums. What about building us a few more bingo halls? That's what we need.
There's nothing the matter with bingo, but have you had a look down the road at the Shakespeare Globe Playhouse? Do you think that ought to get a bit of lottery money? Do you think it deserves it?
Weren't you Churchill once? I know, I've seen him. Yeah, of course you was. Look, the old Globe Theatre, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, see, that's good. That was more like a palace of varieties in them days, you know. No, they used to hand out the rotten fruit and vegetable as you went in for you to sling at the actors, what they called audience participation. And that is why Shakespeare had them stand there doing them long speeches on their own, what they call a soliloquy. What is it?
Soliloquy.
Soliloquy, that's what I said. So as you could have a few practice shots, get your eye in, you see. That's why them long speeches are so bloody boring now. You missed the throwing bit, didn't you? Listen, I went up the old Vic a few years ago now. What did we see up there? I took the silly old mill. What did we see? Oh, tight arse Andronicus, that's it. She couldn't make in the tail of it. I got fed up trying to explain it in the end. There's nothing like a palace of varieties in here. I mean, bloke come up and told me to put my pipe out. You can't get a drink in them. In the old days, the original Globe Theatre, they used to bring you drinks around where you were sitting. Nice big busty ladies. Well, you need a drink in a theatre, don't you? Some of the bloody rubbish they put on these days. Need more to drink. Now they expect you to sit there for hours, can't talk, can't smoke, can't have a drink. Complain and say you're putting him off, putting the actor off. If he was doing his job properly up there, he shouldn't be able to hear us talking amongst ourselves, should he? I mean, you don't get footballers complaining about you talking during a football match, do you? Nah, it's the trouble with the theatre today. It's too much like a bleeding church. Well, there's a case in point now. If they would let you sit in church with a glass of beer in your hand and a fag in your mouth, they might get a few more people going, eh?
Alf, you talked about a lot of interesting subjects tonight, but let's talk about something that's very important. What are you going to do about the English cricket team?
Look, the trouble with you... Pardon?
I can't hear you.
I am thinking about it. The trouble with you colonials, see... I mean, you've never learned to lose properly, have you? That's the trouble.
You have a lot of experience about losing.
Thank you! See, our players are gentlemen. The first thing a gentleman learns is how to lose properly, lose gracefully.
Not all the time. Sometimes.
These bloody lot, I mean, they sling balls at all your private parts, they do. Say a word against you, you're bloody racist, don't you? Look what happened the other night. Mr. Marcus Dow, how...
Dark as how?
Dark as how? Dark as bloody pitch, it is. Look what happened the other night. I'm fast asleep in bed, right? I'm fast asleep, right? I'm having a little dream, right? And in my dream, the telephone rings. It's Lords, the MCC. Mr. Garnett, they said, can you help us out? We want our revenge on the Packies. They've humiliated us again. I said, hold on, I'll hold me back. I rushed down to Lords. I scorn the use of a protective helmet in the box. I'm opening the batting for England. First ball, whack a Eunice. She comes thundering in. Bang, out the bleeding ground. 8. 6, they said, come off it. I said, it's worth more than 6. I can get a taxi, fetch the ball back. Come on, I said, let's have your fast bowlers. Come on. This is Alf Garnett here. Not fat guts, bloody baldy, both of them. Come on. Let's ball out the bleeding ground again. They're all going mad. They're gone. Bowling one in the ghoulies. Next ball. Right in amongst them. You should have seen the bugger scatter. There were 16 curry shops couldn't open that night. I ate 52 off the first over. I was 198 not out by lunch. I said, never mind about lunch. I said, come on, I'll back right through. Come. No, they said, we've got to take lunch. They soon pick up our ways, don't they? I go in the pavilion, there's Her Majesty the Queen stood there. Sir Alfred, she said. Sir, I said, it's in the post, she said. Sir Alfred. She said, it's been an anus horribilis. I said, I beg your pardon, ma'am. She said, it's been an arsehole of a year, Alfred. Them bloody children of mine, I should have had them throttled to birth. He said, you're the only bright spark on the horizon. We want you to take over the captaincy of England. Glenn Hoddle walks in. He says, you can't have him, Mum. We want him for the England football team. I left him arguing and toss. I'm opening the bowling for England. First ball, so hail. Bang! I broke his bleeding back. Oh, he says, what have you done to my back? I said, have a look behind you, mate. See what I've done to your bleeding stumps? Next ball, Anzaman al-Haq. Al-Haq. You won't forget that day in Harry. LBW, I broke his leg through the bleeding pads. Next ball, Wasim Akram. Pakistani captain. He stood there. He see me coming tearing in. He's trembling like a leaf. He's turned white with terror. Well, whitish. All the girls are there, they're going mad. They're yelling, Alfie, Alfie, we want... And they're all there. Raquel Welch, Myrna Lloyd, Kylie Minogue. I'm just about to bowl my hat trick, and the silly cow upstairs wakes me up with a cup of tea.
Mr. Garnett.
Yes. Yes, Sir Teddy.
I belong to an organisation called the Conservative Party.
I have heard of it, sir.
We're having serious problems these days in trying to work out a policy to unite us all on the issue of Europe.
Right.
Now, I know you take a great deal of interest in politics, and I wonder if there was any guidance you'd like to give to me and my colleagues.
Well, the first thing I say is stay clear of the bloody referendum party. That sounds like a disaster to me. Look, as far as the European community and the single currency, Sir Teddy, single currency, I don't mind as long as they have the Queen's head on the banknote. Because that says, I promise to pay the bearer, and we can trust her because she's got the money, hasn't she? I mean, now they brought in that bloody common market, I still call it that. Bloody, I mean, there's thousands of bloody foreigners all swarming over here without having no passports. We've got millions of high ties and krauts and froggies and spagnolies and Brussels sprouts. All swarming like they've taken our jobs off us. So we're going to have to go over to the continent of Europe looking for work, aren't we? Be bloody confusing if another war breaks out, wouldn't it? Well, you won't know what side you're on, will you? There'll be thousands of boats taking people backwards and forwards, so they can join up with their own armies before they can even start the bloody war. See, old Enoch Powell, he had the right idea, didn't he? People should stay in their own countries. The countries that was allocated to them. The countries we put them all in when we run the world. When we had our empire before the bloody Labour Party give it all away. Bloody Gandhi wouldn't eat his dinner to give him India. You know, the latest dodge had of getting in all the illegal migrants, I tell you, last August Bank Holiday Monday in Southend, there was thousands of them coming ashore. All the illegal, all pretending they'd been in for a little swim. Well, you don't go in for a little swim with flippers on your feet, a turban in your head, and two bloody great suitcases in your hand, do you? All very well the government bringing out their race relations bills, but how would John Major like it if he had a family of... I beg your pardon. Ethnics living next door to him. How would he like it if Kenneth Clark's number 11 Downing Street sold number 11 to a family of ethnics? Change his bloody tune then, wouldn't he? Stinking the house out with their curry. Playing on their dustbin lids all night long. And limboing in under his front gate there. That's where I imagine the Queen has been so clever, you see. Her house is detached. She don't want him living next door to her. What do you want?
Aren't you worried about getting breathalyzed on your way home?
I don't drive anymore, my dear. I stopped driving years ago. I mean, isn't that a bloody liberty, eh, that breath? You know who started that? Do you remember who that was, Sir Teddy?
Barbara Castle.
Who started the breathalyzer?
It's Barbara Castle.
Barbara bloody Castle, not Castle.
Very nice, yes.
Lady Barbara Castle, that Labour MP cow. Oh, because she couldn't afford a motor car herself, and she didn't want no one else to have one, did she? She ruined the car trade. I mean, no one's going to buy a car and walk at the pub, are they? All right, they say, a drunk in charge of a car is a lethal weapon, and it can kill someone. Agreed. But what about a drunk in charge of the country then, eh? They can kill bloody millions. Breathalyse your parliament, breathalyse your House of Lords. They go down there, they make their laws, half of them are pissed out their heads, aren't they? We've seen it on the telly, all them bloody MPs, like a bloody 4-hour bar in there some nights. I got breathalyzed 2 years ago now. I was driving down the Mile End Road, straight as the die, gospel, right down the white line in the middle. And this copper leaps out in the middle of the road. Halt! He said, bloody fool. He could have been killed. Well, his hand was only at amber, wasn't it? I mean, that's halt, isn't it? That's amber. When you're on amber, you put your foot down and belt across, isn't it? I was perfectly polite. I wound the window down. I said, good after Buell, Constantine. He said, are you in charge of this motor car? I said, well, it's automatic, but I have to be here. Come on. He said, blow into this. I said, you call your own bloody chips off, mate. Come on, he said, if you don't blow into the bag, we'll have your licence off you. I said, you'll have a job, mate. I ain't got a bloody licence. Come on, he said, stop pissing about. He said, you was doing 65 mile an hour. I said, impossible, I ain't been out an hour. I said, all right, I said, I'm sorry, Ossifer. I said, I didn't dare call him constable in case I stuttered. I said, I'm sorry, Ossifer, I was looking for a shit house. He said, well, you found one, mate. Right, and all is a right bastard he was. Have we got any coppers in here? And I'm only joking. Well, you say a word against the coppers, all come out and strike, wouldn't it? I mean, if that happened in Britain, our crime rate would be halved, wouldn't it? You watch me, darling. You watch me, Janet. When I when I sing them top notes, darling. I see, when I sing them top notes, you can't put a bus ticket between the cheeks of my arse. Normally, you put the old bus up there. Our parlour wanted paper in, and Paul said it was waste to call the paper hanger in, so he made up some paste. He bought some rolls of paper, got a ladder and a brush, and thank you. When I want Razzles of Spring, I'll bloody ask for it. You know, you had a lesson last week. Just play what's written on the song sheet. What? That's a fly. Look at that. Professional musician. And with my mummy's nightie on, at it he made a rush. When drop a paper the parlour, you couldn't see into pace. Whoa! Dabbing it here, dabbing it there, a paste and paper everywhere. Me mother was stuck to the ceiling, me father stuck to the floor. You never seen a blooming family so stuck up before. Oh, down the road away when Oliver's done, down the road the pace was killing, but the bear was willing for the lightning spin. Oh, the rest was licked and might as well have never been born. Whoa, man, whoa there, you've had your little bit of call. Dance, diddly-line, diddly-line, diddly-line. That's back, boiled beef and carrots, boiled beef and carrots. That's the stuff for your derby kill, makes you fart, it keeps you well. On stuff they give to parrots, from morn till night blow out your kite on boiled beef and carrots. Now you all know this one, let's see you sing it with me. I'm Henry the Eighth, I am Henry the Eighth, I am, I am. Whoa! I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. Everyone was an Henry. Wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. I'm a wretched old man called Henry. Henry the Eighth I am. Oh, any old dime, any old dime, any old dime. You look neat, talk about a treat. You look at that from napping his feet. Dressed in style, a great big smile. Your father's old big tie on. I wonder if he touched for old what's saying, old dime. All right, all together now the last chorus. Let's see you sing it with me. Slap the bum, that brick, slap that all day long. We had all these fans on the honours, we was pair of sackling owners. Slap with a one was rust, talk with a fancy ball. Johnny old woman and I put upon the garden.